Have you ever stood in the meal deal aisle at Tesco, bypassed the sugary fizzy drinks because you're trying to be good, grabbed a fancy-looking bottle of sparkling water, and felt like a proper health icon? I hate to break it to you, mate, but you're being completely taken for a ride. That refreshing, crisp fizz you're downing right now isn't some pristine mountain stream captured in glass. In many cases, you are literally paying a 300% markup for glorified London tap water that has had some industrial carbon dioxide blasted into it. It is the ultimate supermarket magic trick. You think you are flushing out toxins, but you might actually be swallowing a cocktail of synthetic chemicals that your body has absolutely no idea how to get rid of. Stick with me for the next 20 minutes, because we are completely stripping back the labels on the UK's biggest drink brands. You'll find out exactly which household names are ripping you off with municipal water masquerading as premium hydration. I'll show you the hard laboratory data tracking hidden toxins inside these bottles, and we'll break down the sneaky marketing loopholes British supermarkets use to line their pockets. Make sure you don't skip a second, because the single most shocking culprit on this list, a brand sitting in millions of British fridges right now that everyone assumes is pure luxury, comes right at the very end, and its lab results are genuinely horrifying. Before we start naming and shaming the specific bottles currently sitting on the shelves of Sainsbury's and Asda, we need to understand how this massive industry deception actually works. In the UK, the law is supposedly quite strict about what you can call your water, but mega corporations have found brilliant ways to dance right around the edges. To be legally classified as natural mineral water, the drink must come from a specific underground source that is completely protected from pollution. It has to be bottled right there at the spring, and it must feature a natural, stable balance of minerals like calcium and magnesium that dissolved into it over decades of filtering through ancient rock. Nothing added, nothing taken out. It is nature's own recipe, untouched by human hands until it hits the glass. Now compare that to standard sparkling water or flavored seltzer. This stuff is the beverage equivalent of putting fancy alloy wheels on a rusty, broken-down Vauxhall Corsa. Big corporations take basic municipal tap water, the exact same stuff that comes out of your kitchen faucet after you've washed the dishes, run it through a standard industrial filter, blast it with pressurized carbon dioxide, and maybe inject a microscopic whisper of artificial chemical flavoring. They slap a picture of a snowy peak or a green leaf on the front, charge you £2 a pop, and laugh all the way to the bank. You are not buying a wellness product. You are buying factory-processed plumbing water dressed up in a tuxedo. The deception goes deeper than just a massive financial ripoff, though. When independent testing labs started looking under the hood of these bubbly drinks, they found something deeply sinister. PFAS. These are per- and polyfluoroalkyl substances, better known as forever chemicals. They earn that lovely nickname because they possess chemical bonds so unnaturally strong that they literally never break down in the environment, and they certainly do not break down inside your liver. Instead, they just sit there, accumulating inside your tissue over time. Drinking these chemical-laden waters while trying to stay healthy is like eating an organic salad that has been sprayed with industrial paint thinner. Global health authorities have linked high exposure to these hidden compounds with everything from thyroid disruptions to immune system damage. Yet, because of lax reporting regulations, companies do not have to print a warning label saying their bubbly treat comes with a side of indestructible industrial waste. We have been conditioned to think bubbles equal purity, but the reality inside that supermarket chiller is a completely different story. Let's start naming the culprits lurking in the British drink aisles, and we are going from the standard corporate ripoffs right down to the flat-out toxic. Kicking off at number 5 is Volvic Touch of Fruit Sparkling, a staple you see in every single co-op and petrol station across the country. Owned by the multi-billion-pound French conglomerate Danone, Volvic trades entirely on its image of pristine volcanic purity from the Auvergne region. People buy this thinking they are treating their bodies to clean, volcanic hydration with a light, natural fruit twist. But pull up the ingredient deck and the illusion completely shatters. What you are actually drinking is standard water pumped full of sugar, citric acid, artificial sweeteners like sucralose, and chemical preservatives like potassium benzoate. It is not a wellness drink. It is basically a flat diet Sprite that has been given a minor fizz upgrade. Dental experts have repeatedly pointed out that the combination of high citric acid and carbonation drops the pH of this stuff down to a highly acidic level 3, which actively strips the protective enamel right off your teeth. You are paying over £1 a bottle for something that erodes your teeth just like a regular sugary pop, all while wrapped in a wholesome green leaf marketing campaign. It is a complete financial and dental scam. If you already feel like checking your own kitchen cupboard right now, do me a massive favor and hit that subscribe button, because the data gets significantly harsher from here on out. Moving to number 4, we have Bubbly, which is PepsiCo's massive corporate attempt to dominate the sparkling water boom in the UK. You can spot these bright, minimalist cans all over the shelves of Asda and Morrison's, covered in cute little smiles and quirky puns designed to make you feel like you are buying into a fun, healthy lifestyle. But don't let the playful font fool you. Underneath that colorful aluminium skin, there is absolutely no mountain spring or protected underground aquifer. It is purely municipal tap water that has been put through a factory filter, carbonated, and shot through with artificial chemical flavoring essences. What makes this a genuine shocker is what independent laboratory screening discovered hiding inside the liquid. In a major consumer safety investigation tracking forever chemicals in bottled drinks, Bubbly tested at an alarming 2.24 parts per trillion for PFAS compounds. That is more than double the strict 1 part per trillion safety threshold that leading environmental scientists consider the absolute maximum safe limit for daily consumption. PepsiCo is charging you a premium price for basic factory water spiked with indestructible industrial chemicals that stay inside your organs forever. It is an absolute joke. Our number 3 spot belongs to a brand that shouldn't even be allowed in the water aisle at all, and that is Sparkling Ice. You can find this one aggressively stocked in Sainsbury's and Tesco, usually positioned as the ultimate zero-calorie, vitamin-infused health drink for people trying to lose weight. It looks vibrant, it promises antioxidants, and it feels like a smart choice. But if you look past the bold lettering on the front and read the actual chemical recipe on the back, you will see it is closer to a chemical experiment than a bottle of water. The sweetness doesn't come from fruit. It comes from sucralose, a synthetic artificial sweetener that emerging gut health research from British University suggests can seriously disrupt your microbiome and damage your healthy gut bacteria. To keep that bright neon liquid from separating on the shelf, they pump it full of chemical preservatives like potassium benzoate and artificial colorings. The independent safety tests did show that Sparkling Ice managed to run clean of the heavy PFAS forever chemicals, but calling this water is a total insult to your intelligence. It is a highly processed, preserved, sweetened soft drink wearing a cheap health food costume to trick busy shoppers. That brings us to number 2, a massive household name that completely built its reputation on no-nonsense, traditional British purity. Schweppes Soda Water. Found in literally every pub, corner shop, and supermarket from Cornwall to Aberdeen, Schweppes is the ultimate mainstream mixer. Owned by Coca-Cola Euro-Pacific Partners, it relies on over 2 centuries of heritage to make you believe it is the golden standard of clean bubbles. But let's look at what you are actually buying when you pick up a multi-pack at Tesco. It is not spring water. It is purified municipal tap water mixed with sodium bicarbonate to give it that classic bitter bite. That would be disappointing enough for the price, but the independent lab data is where things get truly terrifying. In the exact same consumer group chemical screenings, Schweppes-style carbonated seltzers and soda waters came back with a staggering 6.41 parts per trillion of PFAS forever chemicals. That is over 6 times the safety limit recommended by public health scientists. For a brand that markets itself as the clean, crisp, dependable backbone of British hospitality, carrying one of the heaviest toxic chemical loads in the entire test is an absolute disgrace. You are paying premium bottled prices for carbonated tap water laced with industrial waste. But the absolute worst of the bunch, taking our number 1 spot, is the ultimate cult favorite that has completely fooled the entire British middle class. San Pellegrino Essenza. Now wait, let me be very precise here. The original, plain San Pellegrino in the glass bottle is an absolute legend, and we will get to that later. But the multi-billion-pound Nestle Corporation decided to cash in on the flavored trend by launching the Essenza line, which you see stacked high in Waitrose, Sainsbury's, and Ocado for absurd prices. They used the historic Italian heritage, the elegant Alpine font, and the fancy flavor combinations like Mediterranean fruit to make you think you are buying pure luxury. The reality? It is a massive corporate bait and switch. While the original plain glass bottles are filled at the clean source, these mass-produced flavored cans are often blended and processed in regional factories, using local water supplies mixed with industrial natural flavor extracts to mask the lack of real mineral depth. You are paying an astronomical luxury markup for what is effectively a factory-managed seltzer disguised as an artisanal Italian luxury. It is the single most cynical marketing trick in the entire supermarket chiller, robbing British consumers blind one expensive multi-pack at a time. And now, mate, this is exactly what it was worth watching all the way through for. We have waded through the corporate sludge, the chemical overloads, and the tap water ripoffs. So let's finally talk about the real deal. There are still genuine, pristine waters out there that come out of the earth exactly the way nature intended, without a factory chemical plant messing with the recipe. If you want to spend your hard-earned money on something that actually improves your health and runs clean of industrial waste, these are the only bottles you should be reaching for on your next supermarket run. Starting the good list at number 3 is a massive win for the budget-conscious shopper. Highland Spring Sparkling. This is the absolute backbone of the British water aisle, available in literally every single Tesco, Sainsbury's, Aldi, and Lidl across the UK. Bottled directly at the source in the Ochil Hills in Perthshire, Scotland. This brand has a magnificent philosophy that puts corporate seltzers to absolute shame. The land surrounding their underground aquifer is completely certified organic by the Soil Association. That means for miles around, no farmers are spraying chemical pesticides, no industrial factories are dumping waste, and no artificial fertilizers are sinking into the ground. The rainwater falls on the Scottish hills and spends decades slowly filtering down through layers of ancient rock, naturally picking up a light, beautifully balanced blend of calcium, bicarbonate, and magnesium. When you take a sip of this, the difference from those factory-made seltzers is instantly physical. There is no artificial, aggressive chemical burn. It has a remarkably smooth, soft texture and a clean, refreshing taste that makes your standard flavored cans taste completely hollow. In independent laboratory testing, Highland Spring consistently comes back exceptionally clean, well under any safety lines for heavy metals or synthetic pollutants. The price analysis is the best part. A massive 1-liter bottle will often cost you less than £1 at Asda or Morrison's, making it cheaper per serving than almost all the chemical-laden corporate junk we exposed in Part 2. The only real downside is that because it is a lighter mineral water, it doesn't give you that heavy, intense mineral hit if you are a hardcore sparkling water connoisseur, but for a daily, clean, family-safe hydration option. It is an unbeatable British champion. If this definitive ranking is saving you from buying a bootleg bottle of chemical tap water on your next lunch break, do me a quick favor and hit that like button right now. It massive helps the channel slice right through the corporate algorithm. Moving up to number 2, we cross over to the continent for something seriously heavy-duty, Gerolsteiner Sparkling. You can find this iconic blue-labeled glass bottle tucked away in the premium water aisles of Waitrose, Ocado, and larger Sainsbury's stores, and it is where natural water starts to mean something incredibly serious. This water has been bottled since 1888 in the volcanic Eifel region of Germany, and it is a complete geological marvel. The water filters through deep underground volcanic rock layers, absorbing a massive load of natural minerals and naturally occurring carbon dioxide gas, meaning it literally comes out of the ground already sparkling straight from the earth. When you look at the lab data for Gerolsteiner, it blows everything else out of the water. It packs a staggering 2,500 milligrams of dissolved solids per liter. That includes a massive, highly bioavailable dose of natural calcium and magnesium that your body can actively absorb to support your bones and muscles. This volcanic mineral load completely changes the sensory experience. It has a robust, distinct, slightly salty, and incredibly crisp taste with structural bold bubbles that stay fizzy for hours after opening. It is the absolute benchmark of what real natural mineral water should be, proving just how empty and synthetic those standard supermarket seltzers really are. Independent consumer groups and safety labs consistently rank it as one of the cleanest waters on the planet, completely free from the industrial PFAS contamination that plagues cheap supermarket waters. It does cost more, usually around £2 for a large glass bottle, but you are not paying for marketing fluff. You are paying for actual, mineral-rich liquid nutrition forged by a volcano. The only drawback is that the strong, distinct mineral taste can be a bit polarizing if you are used to drinking flat tap water. But once your palate adjusts, you will never look back. That brings us to the undisputed number 1 spot. The ultimate king of the supermarket chiller that actually backs up its luxury reputation with flawless laboratory data, the original plain San Pellegrino. Flowing proudly from natural springs in the foothills of the Italian Alps since 1899, this iconic green glass bottle with the red star is a staple of white tablecloth restaurants and can be found in every Morrison's, Tesco, and Waitrose in the country. The water takes a majestic 30-year journey filtering down through alpine limestone rock before it is ever bottled at the source. There are absolutely no sweeteners, no artificial chemical flavor essences, and no factory filtration shortcuts. It is pure, mountain-forged mineral water with a naturally high concentration of calcium and magnesium. In the exact same independent safety screening that completely exposed other major brands for high levels of forever chemicals, the original plain San Pellegrino smashed the test, coming back with a microscopic 0.31 parts per trillion of PFAS, well below the strict safety line and practically non-existent. It is an absolute masterclass in purity. Sensorially, it is legendary for a reason. The bubbles are exceptionally fine and velvety, never bloating your stomach or burning your throat, and it carries a perfectly balanced, sophisticated taste that complements food beautifully. You can easily pick up a large bottle for around £1.50 or grab a multi-pack of the plain glass bottles for a very reasonable cost per use. It is the gold standard of healthy, premium hydration, proving that true luxury comes from 30 years inside an alpine mountain, not from a corporate factory tap with a fancy label. To make sure you never get ripped off in the drinks aisle again, here are 6 concrete rules you need to follow every single time you scan the shelves at Tesco or Sainsbury's. First, turn the bottle around and check the legal classification line, because if it doesn't explicitly state natural mineral water or spring water, you are paying a massive premium for basic carbonated tap water from an industrial estate. Second, treat the word flavored as an absolute red flag on any water bottle, as this is almost always corporate shorthand for a chemical cocktail of synthetic sweeteners, tooth-eroding citric acid, and artificial chemical preservatives. Third, look for a specific named source or spring location on the label, because real, high-quality water brands are legally proud of where their liquid comes from, whereas the factory-made tap water brands will completely hide their geographic origin. Fourth, check the back for a listed mineral analysis breakdown showing actual milligrams per liter of calcium and magnesium, which acts as a green light, proving the liquid spent decades absorbing natural nutrition underground rather than being blasted with gas in a local bottling plant. Fifth, avoid plastic bottles whenever your budget allows and opt for heavy green or clear glass bottles instead, as glass preserves the natural crispness of the water and completely eliminates the risk of harmful microplastics leaching into your drink. Sixth, never assume that a high price tag or a fancy-looking Italian or French name guarantees purity, because, as the laboratory data showed us, massive multi-billion-pound conglomerates are masters at using elegant alpine fonts to disguise highly processed, chemical-laden factory liquid. To sum it all up, the British sparkling water aisle is currently a fierce psychological battleground between genuine natural products forged by the earth and highly processed corporate seltzers generated by a chemical factory. The entire beverage industry relies on the fact that you will see a picture of a fresh piece of fruit or a snowy mountain peak on the front of a can and completely forget to check what is actually inside the liquid. By making just one single shift in your daily shopping mindset, by refusing to buy into the lifestyle marketing and demanding to read the actual source data on the back of the label, you completely remove yourself from being a helpless victim of corporate deception. You stop funding the multi-packs of carbonated plumbing water and start investing your money back into your actual physical health. Thanks a lot for spending your valuable time with me today, mate. And if this deep dive completely changed how you look at your daily hydration habits, please share this video right now with a mate or a family member who constantly drinks flavored cans thinking they are being incredibly healthy. I want to know the absolute truth about what is sitting in your kitchen cupboard right now, so drop a comment down below and tell me exactly which of these sparkling brands you have been regularly buying from Asda or Morrison's. Make sure you hit that subscribe button to join our community of smart consumers, and if you want to keep completely dismantling the marketing lies of major brands, click right here to watch our next big investigative review on the hidden garbage lurking inside popular supermarket health foods. Stop letting the big supermarkets rob you blind, stay sharp out there in the aisles, and I will